How often have you said to yourself, "Today is the day I finally get things done," only to find yourself feeling stuck? Have you spent countless hours watching motivational videos or reading inspiring quotes, hoping for that spark to ignite your passion? Yet, by the end of the day, nothing seems to change. It's frustrating, isn't it? And it can be exhausting. You might even start to question, what's wrong with me? Here is the reality. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not lazy. You are not lacking discipline. You are feeling stuck because the conventional methods of motivation don't resonate with everyone. Why you should watch this video? This isn't just another "you can do it" pep talk or a list of generic advice. By the time you finish this video, you will gain a fresh, science backed perspective on motivation that aligns with how your brain operates. You will discover why traditional motivation techniques often fall short and why it's not your fault, the neuroscience behind that stuck feeling, and how to tap into your own momentum. Simple, effective strategies to take action even when motivation seems out of reach. If procrastination or guilt has been holding you back, this video is for you. Stay with me. I will guide you on how to break free and make progress without relying on willpower or waiting for inspiration. Hi there, I am a psychologist. What I am about to share is grounded in research from experts like Dr. Russell Buckley, Dr. B.J. Fogg, and Dr. Brené Brown. This approach has proven effective for thousands of people just like you. Remember, most of the advice you find over the internet assume your brain operates like everyone else. The truth is, it doesn't. That's what makes these strategies unique. They are tailored to work with your brain's specific wiring, not against it. The real problem isn't you, it's the strategy. Here's the reality. Much of the motivational advice out there is akin to trying to drive a car without any gas. It presumes your brain is fully fueled and ready to go. But if your brain isn't set up that way, those strategies can actually backfire. If you are dealing with low dopamine, burnout, or feeling of overwhelm, they can exacerbate your situation. They won't just fail, they can genuinely harm you. But here is the silver lining: the issue isn't you, it's the tool you have been relying on. With the right tools, you can stop feeling like it's your fault. You can start to create real momentum. So stick with me. I will explain why you might feel stuck. I will also provide straightforward science backed steps to help you break free. Before we jump in, I would like to ask you, when was the last time motivation truly made a difference for you? Just remember, who knows? It might just inspire someone else who is facing similar challenges. Now, let's explore why we often revert to the same strategies even when they don't yield results. It's crucial to understand why these methods can leave us feeling worse instead of better. This is where the pieces start to fall into place. The cycle of frustration and guilt. Have you ever experienced this? You wake up feeling hopeful, you have watched an uplifting video, crafted a plan, or told yourself, "This time I really commit." But as the days goes on, reality sets in, and the plan starts to feel too much, your motivation dwindles. By the end of the day, you are left with that heavy feeling, guilt. You might wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can't I follow through on my intentions? This isn't just a bad habit. It's what I refer to as the guilt loop. It's a cycle that traps millions of people. Let's break down how the guilt loop operates. You begin with hope, you establish a big ambitious goal, then you feel overwhelmed. The methods you have been choosing seem too difficult or unrealistic. You don't meet your expectations. Instead of questioning the system, you turn the blame on yourself. To escape that guilt, you search for more motivation videos and inspiring quote, or at another plan, and the cycle repeats itself. Dr. Timothy a leading expert on procrastination, sheds light on this. He points out that we often seek quick emotional fixes to elevate guilt. We do this by consuming motivational content. It feels satisfying in the moment, but it does not address the root issue. That's why you find yourself back at the beginning. Here is the catch. Even when these strategies let us down, we keep returning to them. Why? Because they are familiar. Psychologists refer to this as the status quo bias. Your brain gravitates towards what feels safe and predictable, even if it's ineffective. Consider this. A strict to do list offers a sense of order, even if they leave you feeling overwhelmed. Motivational videos provide a quick rush of dopamine, even if they don't inspire real action. These tools may work for some individuals, but if your brain isn't suited for them, they lead to frustration rather than progress. And when they fail, you don't hold them accountable. Here is the breakthrough. The issue isn't you, it's the strategy. Most conventional motivational tools don't align with how your brain operates, but there is a hope. By understanding what your brain truly needs, you can escape this cycle. You can create a genuine momentum without feeling guilty. In the next section, we'll delve into why traditional motivation tools often miss the mark. We'll also uncover what your brain requires to flourish. Trust me, this is where everything starts to click. Consider the typical motivational advice: just push harder, set big goals, and crush them. Winners never quit. It sounds inspiring, but let's be real. How often does it actually pan out? For many, particularly those dealing with ADHD or burnout, these approaches can backfire. Remember, traditional motivations operate on the assumption that your brain is like a full gas tank. Just hit the pedal and you are off. But if your dopamine levels are low, it's like trying to start a car with an empty tank. Dopamine is what fuels motivation. Dopamine is essentially for getting started and maintaining focus. However, if stress, ADHD, or fatigue depletes your dopamine, it doesn't mean you're lazy. You're biologically predisposed to feel stuck. Dr. Russell Barkley, a prominent ADHD researcher, has offered a clear perspective on this. For some individuals, motivation isn't about sheer willpower. It's about identifying the right triggers to activate the brain's reward system. Here is the twist. Much of the advice on motivations hinges on willpower. But think of willpower as a battery. It depletes quickly, especially when you are feeling overwhelmed. The secret isn't to push yourself harder. It's about working smarter by utilizing tools that align with how your brain naturally operates. When you do this, motivation transforms into something you cultivate rather than something you simply wait for. What does your brain need to flourish? Number one, small wins. Break tasks down into teeny, manageable steps to create quick burst of dopamine. Number two, clear steps. Make your goals straightforward so they feel attainable, not daunting. Number three, positive reinforcement. Celebrate every achievement, no matter how minor. It fuels progress and keeps you motivated. The best part, these strategies don't depend on willpower. They are tailored to fit your brain, your lifestyle, and your energy level. You see why traditional motivation often falls short. Let's shift our focus to what truly works. In the next session, I will guide you through building momentum step by step, beginning with the power of small actions. This is where the real transformation occurs. Building momentum without being overwhelming. Why big goals lead to stuckness? Have you ever set a big goal like cleaning your house, finishing a project, or starting a workout routine? Initially, you feel excited and ready to dive in, but as you consider the enormity of the task, that excitement quickly turns into dread. Suddenly, it seems impossible to even begin. Does this resonate with you? The issue isn't the goal itself, it's how you are approaching it. While big goals can be motivating, they often feel overwhelming. Here is the interesting part. Your brain actually thrives on small victories, not massive leaps. When you break a task down into teeny, manageable steps, three remarkable things happen. Number one, you lower resistance. Small steps seem achievable, making it easier to get started. Number two, you get a dopamine boost. Even minor actions trigger a release of dopamine in your brain, which is the chemical that fuels motivation. Number three, you build momentum. Each small success creates a snowball effect, making the next step feel easier. Dr. B.J. Fogg, a behavioral scientist from Stanford, discusses this in his book Teeny Habits. He discovered that starting with something ridiculously small, like flushing just one tooth or doing a single push up, set the stage for lasting change. Why? Because these small actions are easy to repeat, and repetition is key to forming new habits in your brain. Many people believe that motivation comes first, but it's actually the other way around. Taking action generates motivation. Even the smallest step forward creates momentum and shifts your mindset from I can't do to I'm doing it. For instance, instead of saying I will clean the whole kitchen, just commit to washing the cup of coffee immediately after having coffee. Only one dish. That teeny action often leads to washing another and then another. Before you know it, the task feels much more manageable. Shrink the task. Ask yourself what's the smallest step I can take right now. If you are putting off writing a report, just start by opening the document. If the thought of exercising feels too much, simply commit to putting on your workout clothes. Anchor it to something you really do. Link your teeny step to a daily routine like brushing your teeth or pouring your coffee. Celebrate the win. Once you complete the step, take a moment to celebrate. Say, I did it, or give yourself a little first bump. This positive reinforcement helps your brain connect action with reward. Now that you know how to use small steps to build momentum, let's discuss how to make those steps stick. Building motivation is one thing, but turning it into habit is where the real magic happens. The problem with relying on willpower. Let's face it, people often overestimate willpower. It's like a battery. It works for a while but eventually runs out. When life gets hectic or stressful, that's when habits tend to break down. But here is the twist. Habits don't depend on willpower, they depend on systems. With the right system in place, your habits can operate on autopilot. They become as automatic as brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. You don't even have to think about it. Let's explore how habits function. As explained by researchers like James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, Q. This is the trigger for the habit, like noticing your shoes by the door, which prompts you to go for a walk. Routine. This is the action you take, such as actually going for that walk. Reward. After completing the habit, you experience a sense of satisfaction, which helps reinforce the behavior for the future. The secret is to make the habit so small and manageable that it easily fits into your daily routine. Over time, these little actions can lead to significant changes. There are three straightforward strategies to help your habits stick. Start specific and small. Rather than saying I will exercise every day, try I will do one stretch after wake up. Use triggers to remind you. Connect your new habit with something you already do. For instance, after I brush my teeth, I will floss one teeth. After I make coffee, I will write one sentence in my journal. Track your progress. Utilize a habit tracker or a simple checklist to mark each day you complete your habit. Watching your progress can build momentum and strengthen the habit. The easier your habit is, the more likely it is to stick. You don't need an elaborate 10-step morning routine or a strict schedule. What you need are small, consistent actions that integrate into your life and the passions to allow them to develop over time. Now that you know how to create lasting habits, let's discuss a significant challenge: setback. Life can be unpredictable, and despite our best efforts, things don't always go as planned. The important thing isn't to avoid setbacks, it's about learning how to recover and come back even stronger. Let's explore this further. Why setbacks feel so defeating? Let's face it, setbacks are a part of life. You might miss a workout, skip your journaling, or stray from your plan. When this happens, it's easy to feel like you have failed. But here's the reality: setbacks don't equate to failure. In fact, they indicate that you are pushing your limit. If you never encounter obstacles, it likely means you are not challenging yourself enough. Dr. Carroll, a psychologist known for her work on the growth mindset, emphasizes that those who view setbacks as opportunities for learning to tend to achieve greater success. Instead of saying, I messed up, they think, what can I take away from this experience? This change in perspective transforms setback into valuable lessons, helping you become stronger and more resilient. Here is a straightforward three-step approach to recover from any setback. Number one, reframe the setback. Rather than saying I failed, try thinking this is just a temporary pause, not the end of my journey. Number two, reflect on the challenges faced and create a new plan for next time. For instance, if you missed a workout due to fatigue, consider scheduling a shorter, gentle session for your next workout. If you didn't journal, promise yourself to write just one sentence tomorrow. Number three, celebrate the comeback. Recognize your efforts to get back on track. Even the smallest step forward is a victory. Here is the reality: setbacks aren't the opposite of progress, they are an integral part of it. Each time you bounce back, you enhance your resilience. You demonstrate to yourself that you can preserve regardless of the challenges you face. Reflect on your most recent setback. What lesson did it impart? What's one small step you can take today to start moving forward again? I would love to hear your story. If this video provided you with valuable insights, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Each week, we explore topics like this to assist you in unlocking your potential one step at a time. Keep in mind, small steps consist habits, and the right mindset can transform everything. You have got this. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Thank you. Good luck.